one-stop-adjuster.com, and you'll be able to go to a resources window, and you'll be able to pull up all of the training videos. You'll be able to pull up a white paper, and you'll be able to pull up the summary of the class, basically what we did, what we talked about. So all that information will be there for you, and you'll be able. Some people remove from. Okay, hold on, let me make sure no one was removed. Okay, I didn't hear that. Was someone speaking? Okay, sorry. All right, so this is the Pocket Guide. What we're going to talk about today is all the front stuff is administrative, but where we're going to be talking mainly about is in the inspection tools. The inspection tools consist of the photos, the sketch, and adding line items to your estimate. There's all the line items that you can add. Now, remember, these does not come with the pricing, but it will come with the line items. And then the pricing will be figured out once it is uploaded to an ESX in OSA. Okay. So we'll go over quickly the photos. Again, it's just reading through, and I try to set it up what you can do and how you can do it in here, just a step by step. I'm not going to go through every detail of this for you, but again, you got the photos. This is where it starts. Then you can click on, oh, sorry, I went one page too far. Yeah, it is just one page. Okay. This is where you have your rooms from your scan. Your actual photos start in your scan, except for your preliminary report. If you follow what I've done in the past, as far as giving you guidance with my processes, then you can go right into your scan. They all link to your scan. As you see, the scanning, your photos merge with the scan, and then we talk about the line items. Okay. So this is the Pocket Guide. Do me a favor. I know Pam's not on here right now, but go ahead and leave your email address in there saying, hey, Todd, I need you to send me the Pocket Guide. And before I shut the meeting down, I'll go through and read all the notes and send you the Pocket Guide if you have not received it. Okay. So please make sure you do that for me. Okay. Okay, so we are here in my iPad now. Let me minimize that. And I tried to arrange this a little bit better. Can you all see my pointer now? A couple questions came up in class that was, you were asking where I was pointing. So I highlighted my pointer so you could see it a little better. I hope this helps everybody identifying with where I'm pushing and what I'm doing in OSA. So I am in the app. I've already logged on and I'm in there. So right now, it says up here, no claims selected. All I'm going to do is go to the pencil and hit the pencil, and notice my screen comes up. These are all the claims I currently have in the system. Okay. So if I go to one of them, let's just pick my son, Colby Eisenberg, I can go into the sketch. There's the sketch that I've done. There's the photos that I've done down here. So I've got all the photos in there of those rooms, and then I've added the line items. Notice I have some without line items, okay? So that is the whole entire process of the inspection. First you scan, then you have your photos as you're scanning, or you can come do that afterwards. Then you can come back into and add your line items right here. Now, what I've done in this is I've made it all available in one screen. You can come down here by clicking on the sketch. If I click into a room, my wife's closet, let's say, notice I have 4 pictures up there right here that all have green checks. Those green checks, basically it's a checks and balance system, tell me that I have added a description to those photos. Notice when I go to my line items, hold on just a second. Bear with me here. Okay, sorry about that. When I go to my line items, there's nothing there. Okay, so on the line items, I haven't added anything. So if I go down here and click on it, I can add my line items. Notice I've got my groups that I've talked about. I can customize my group if I find my custom, or I can copy. So now I can copy from room to room. So if I wanted to go and copy, it's going to identify to all those rooms that I've already got line items in. So all I have to do is check that box and it will copy over. Or I could just do the existing and I can go into those individual groups as I've shown you before, and I can add those line items there by picking that select group. Okay, so keep that in mind. I can do that right here in my sketch also. So not only do I have my photos, I can do that line items also. If I want to take another photo, all I do is click on it and I can add my camera and I can take a picture. So I'm just going to take a picture. There it is. That photo has been added to that list right here down at the bottom. Okay, so I've added that photo directly to that room. So what again, if you remember through my processes, what I've talked about in the past, here's the way Todd Eisenberg does this. And I find it very useful, very fast, very efficient, and very effective. I go through and scan the whole entire house, and I take 4 photos, maybe 6 photos, depending on how big the room is and what the breakup is the room is. And those are my overview photos. So I can label all those photos the same throughout the whole entire house, overview photos. Okay, that's my first. That's my first thing I do. Then I also verify the sketch with my policy holder. So I might have to do some corrections of the sketch in here. Say I might have to extend this or something, or add a closet. Say the scan didn't get the closet very well, or I named it incorrectly. I can do all that manipulation right there with the policy holder. So everything's verified. And then I go through and I go back to each room that I've already scanned and I do the photos, damage photos, and I write the estimate. I do all of that in about 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm in each room maybe 5 minutes, sometimes not even that. And it just gets faster and faster and faster. And as you figure out and as you learn to cycle through OSA, you'll understand that process. Now, a lot of questions, oh, I don't spend that much time right now on a house. Okay, then don't use OSA. But you're going to find it more effective because now you don't have to go to your house or back to your hotel and draw a sketch, look at your scope notes, and do all those things. So there's a lot of give and take in what we've created for you as an adjuster to help balance your time. You know, like myself, I go out and I inspect 4, I come back to my hotel room and I close 4. If I don't close 4, that's because it might be a very large home and I just haven't done that, but that is my goal. And that's the way I kind of wrote the program to be able to do. And so far, just beta testing it, just doing everything that I've done, I'm already past the 4. I can actually almost do 6 now. So, and that's going out inspecting houses that are newly constructed, going and taking pictures, writing the line items for make, damage, and coming back and doing it. Okay, so now then you can go back by hitting the arrow up in the upper right. You can click back, and then I can slide my screen over, and now I'm in the photos. Okay, the other day, someone asked me if I can drag the photos. So yes, you can. Okay, I'm going to use this room right here, and I'm going to drag this end photo to the front so I can reorganize my photos, and it will reorganize them and it will renumber them automatically. Okay, then the next person asked, can I move photos from room to room? Yes, you can. And it used to be this way. I used to be able to just grab a photo and just drag it down. But what my son realized, and my developer, he's my son, both my sons are, what we realized is because of the way we're doing it and because of the room scan and the sketch and because we have everything tied together, it was causing some unnecessary, not errors or crashes. It was just, I'd like to say, and you guys can laugh at me, discombobulating. It was taking apart the coding and then trying to put it all back together the same way because I was shifting a picture from one area to another area. So what we did was we simply added, and I thought it was an error. It's not an error. My son didn't tell me about it. So you go up here to the top area and you just hit select. So now I can go in and I'm just going to select this photo and this photo. So now I go over here to move, click move, and I want to move these photos to the office and move. And now they move right to the office. Now what they've done is they moved all the way through there, kept the coding all together, kept everything together. And all I did was just shift them from one area to the other. So it changed all the names, it changed all the information in the photo, and it renumbered the photos as I went there. So now that photo is in the office, number 10 or whatever it might be. Okay. So that's all we've done. And notice this wife's closet needs one description. That's because I've got one photo in there that I added new that you can see the little box right here. It's telling me that I need to add a description, so I can click on that photo. We call this wheel right here the carousel, okay? And the reason is it can go. Notice we also have next room, which is not a next room, but now we've got the previous room, which is a bedroom. So all you got to do is click on that. Then another user was asking questions about he couldn't get his photos in the correct report. Those photos are right here, okay? So if I need all of these photos in the general tag area, I want them all to say general, okay? So this one, I want it to say general. This one, I want it to say general. Can you bulk do this? Yes, you can. I can show you how. It's just out of this window into the select window. Or say I want this photo right here, excuse me, I want this photo right here to be in my preliminary report. I just click on preliminary report. Now, that photo is going to show up in the general report and in the preliminary report. So when you file your preliminary report, it's going to be attached with your FCN to show those photos in your prelim. Then when you do your claim estimate, all of the photos here that are marked general will show up in general. The same with all the different tags here: engineering, underwriting, advanced, general for contents, personal property. We have general, prelim, advanced, special limits. So all those will show up where they need to show up in the order that you've got them selected. Notice I've got this red dot right here, or red circle. I'm going to slide the carousel over. The way you can do that, or actually I'll just start on this one. The way you can add that same thing is up here on the photo that is highlighted, that is actually showing, there's a pencil right here. You can click on the pencil. You can add a sticker. If any of you have an idea of another sticker, send it to me. I'll have it input in there, just like these ones. Like this guy wanted his water line to come in like that. I said, okay, no problem. Send it to me. I'll add it in there. So now he can go in there and add his water line. So I can add as many stickers as I need to. It's just a matter of what you guys want to see to help you annotate your photo. Again, this is about you. This isn't about how you need to do it. But keep in mind, other people will use those too. So I'm just going to go in here and add this sticker. Okay, I've already added it once, but I can go in there and manipulate it and do anything I want to it. I can blow it up if I need to. I can rotate it. I'm trying to get in there and rotate it. I can make it bigger. Okay. Oh, let's click on it. I've already saved it. Sorry. Then you can come up here and hit save. Okay. And then you can undo, undo, undo. And this one has been embedded in there from earlier. And then I can add paint. I can come over here and add an arrow. There's my arrow. Oh, I didn't add the whole arrow. I just cut it off. Then I can add a line if I need to. I can add a circle. Okay. I can do different things. So all this is just meant for you. I can change the color in them and everything. So all these details are just there for you to be able to go in, and I can undo all those also. Okay. So just keep in mind, then when I want to get out, or when I want to save those annotations, I got to go up here to hit check. You want to hit done. they'll embed those in there, and now you've got the embedded. So you see I've got this one right here. I've added this as a test, just for to show people that you could actually add text to a photo also. Okay, so again, remember this, it's not going to show up in here, but if I want to go down to the description, I can click on the description. I have a keyboard attached to my iPad at this point, so I could get the mouse showing, but I can click on keyboard, show the keyboard, and note, just because I'm in this and I've got my AirPods on, my speaker is not lit up, but I can actually do voice dictation. And there are people on the call that have done voice dictation for their photos, labeling their photos, and through everything. So the availability and the tools right here for you are very intuitive. You're going to learn from the tools, and you'll be able to keep moving forward. As then one other thing I do want to show you is I can go in here, and so I can select, remember, I can select all the different photos. I can go in and select them all, whatever I need to do, hit done again, and then I'm done. Or I can go down here, and I'm not going to do it right now, but I can auto label. Actually, there's only one photo that I can auto label. I can click on auto label, and what we've done is we've written basically a page and a half worth of criteria to recognize how high the water line is, recognize the damage to your flooring, your baseboard, your shoe molding, your furniture in there, all that stuff. So it kind of writes as it sees the damage, and it is very detailed on it depending on your camera. I know the camera on the iPad works great because have you ever had that cat that likes to urinate everywhere? Well, we've got one that does that in a bathroom, and it will pick up that stain. Even though we've cleaned it and rubbed it off, it will pick up the stain, what they've done. So just keep that in mind. It's very detailed on what it can do. So you can do the auto label. You still are required to check those because it might not, we're adding a mechanical to that because I had a water heater that was tipped over. It said water heater, but it didn't say it was damaged or leaning or anything like that. So we had to train it to recognize that that water heater was abnormal and damaged, but it recognized everything behind the water heater, the damaged wall. So these are just different things that you have to balance out as you're going through it. What are the limitations of the AI? You might have to add some changes to that and some possible corrections to that. But it will do. I've done it when I was at the National Flood Conference. I did a demo for Selective, and I think I labeled 150 photos in, I think it was a minute and 12 seconds because they were timing and wanted to see how fast it was. Then they verified the damage, the way the photos were written and everything. So again, it's just a balance for you guys. And then up here, notice where it says no photos. That's because I haven't taken those photos. Then the property verification, this is a requirement for most IA firms. If your IA firm doesn't require that, that's on them. But we have this whole box highlighted because you have to verify the property address. So that's why we've gone a little bit above, saying, hey, you need to make sure you have this property verification. Then you put in those. One thing I forgot to mention is this. Say I'm down here in my entryway, and my entryway needs to be above my primary bathroom. All I have to do is go on the screen, press it, and I can move it up, and I can reorganize that right there. And what it's going to do is it's going to reorganize it there. Notice the entryway is above the primary bathroom, and now the entryway is above the primary bathroom there. So it recognized the line items, it's writing the scope, it's writing the estimate when you upload to Xactimate in the exact order that you have it here in your photos and in your estimate. And you can do the same thing here. You can click on it and bring it up there. So again, we have the ability to do things in multiple windows to make your time more efficient and easier. Okay, again, with the photos, is there any questions right now on the photos? Don't everybody speak once. Yes, Stephen, you got to unmute.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can.
Hey, I'm noticing that, I have the one that we downloaded at the class we had downtown.
Yeah, you're old. You need to update that.
That's what I wanted to know. What do I need to do? Because I'm not
Okay,
seeing
so if you have one that's old, all you got to do is go back to the Apple Store, and when you click go look for One Stop Adjuster, and then you'll see the cloud download with a download arrow. All you got to do is click on that, and it will update everything that's in your system right now with the newest version. The newest version should be this one right here. So if I go to the OSA icon, notice I have a bunch of administrative tools right here. About, you should have 2.0.0 on your document. Okay.
Okay, so I won't lose all my tokens I bought.
No, you will not. And if for some reason, well, here, I'm gonna correct myself on that. You will not lose your token provided you don't log in with a new OSA. You have to log in the same way every time. We have a gentleman that has he's purchased 100 credits, and he was logging in with a different OSA. So now he had two OSA IDs, and that's because he created a new one on his phone versus what he had on his iPad. And he was logging in to his new one on his iPad, which wasn't giving him the credits. And my son had to get in there to figure out what he was doing. And we deleted his new one, and all of his credits were there on his old one. So we just had to give him guidance on what to do correctly. And he was just logging in.
I found it. Just hit update. That's the option that it gives me.
There you go.
All right,
That's
and
all you had to do.
I only bought 10. So
that's fine. Yeah, that's good. That's a great start right there, buying the 10.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So let me just close this. Again, here's for those of you that weren't on the class on Tuesday, this is just basically the administrative stuff right here. Click on the icon up in the upper left-hand corner, and you have the resources business card where you upload your FCN, adjust your profile. That's where you can set up your profile information. And then the most importantly right here is when you're logging in, and you'll have to do this, Steve, on yours. Once you have it downloaded, you'll have to go to manage line items and click on it, and it will ask you to download all the line items, and you hit yes, and it will put basically 5,700 line items in your not in your app, not in your storage, not in anything, just where you can manipulate them through OSA. Okay, so make sure you do that too. That's how you'll get your line items. All right, so just where your photos were, that was a great question, Steve. Is there any more? Okay, there's no other questions. Hold on, let me stop sharing this.
Hey, Todd.
Yes, sir.
Couple questions. One, deleting the old files that's hanging in there from the old version. What's the easiest way to do that?
You can go up here to the pencil, click on the pencil, and just go over to the trash file and delete them.
Okay, very good. And mine does not have the button you were just talking about on my new version. Do I need that?
Yeah. That's because you probably don't have a claim selected. Are you in version 2.0? If you're not in version 2.0, I would go to the Apple Store, make sure you're updated with the latest version. If you're updated with the latest version, you just need to make sure that you are in a claim. Like right here, if I was in no claim, it wouldn't show up. But now I'm in a claim, so I have the ability for the manage line items.
Okay. I got you. I had a claim selected, but it was one of the old claims.
Yeah, it won't show up in your old ones.
Okay, I'm gonna try the new one. Let me just be sure it's there.
All right, while Pat's doing that, again, on the photos, if there's no more questions on the photos, I'm going to go in and talk about the scan. So notice I picked a new claim. I don't have a picture anymore. It says select a floor. Over here on the left-hand side, it says first floor. So I go over there, hit first floor, and now you'll see the scan that I've previously done in another training class right here. And then I can go to the box and click on that. And then I can size my window to where I can manipulate it. Now, right here with the manipulation of the rooms, notice right above that here, I have tools. I can minimize that. And this might be the way yours shows up. So you got to go in and show tools, and then your tools will show up. I've got windows, doors, openings, and wall. And then I've got this button over here for selection. If I click on a room, notice I've got the selection details, I've got the photos and the line items, and then I can scroll through that up and down and I get room details. Notice it's got the floor area, the wall perimeter, and wall perimeter minus gaps, meaning that it's doing the deduction automatically for this wall that is missing and this door that is missing and the windows, okay? So it does that deduction automatically for you. Now, just to show you one other thing in Sketch, I'm going to go in here to wall and I'm going to add a room. I'm going to just click on a room, just draw it. Okay. If I click on both walls, notice my room is not straight right here. Click on this wall, click on that wall, and I can free float it all the way there. Notice that room is named room 1. I can go select room 1, go to the details tab up here, click on the details tab and select an area. If I hit the arrow, notice it says all those rooms, all those room names have been assigned with a green check. That means they were all scanned. I need to name that room. So I go to new area and I can name that doghouse just to play. Oops, excuse me, click on custom, type doghouse, and then hit the check, hit create, and now I've got the doghouse there so I can go in and add line items to it, do whatever I need to. So that's the simplicity. Also, I want to show you here, this came up the other day on a gentleman. He was scanning and he couldn't get both rooms to show up. A similar situation as this. And right here, notice there's a wall. And all I did was I went in there and clicked where that wall should be. And notice that wall says it's hidden. I just have to show that. So now I've got those two rooms. And now I want to hide that wall. So there, that wall is hidden. Another feature that we built in so you can see it is I'm going to select this wall right here where my icon is. Then I have, notice it says wall, 2 features, and that's because it's giving me an opening property and window property and opening doors. And then I've got the different walls that are also adjacent in that room with the different features available also. So keep in mind that we've tried to build this as smart as we could make it for you guys to just really understand what is going on and how everything is working through the claims process for you to get your claims done. Another question was asked, what do I do with the sketch? So I scan it. When I scan it, let me back out. I'm going to go up there and hit the back arrow. Notice I've got all my rooms that I've scanned. I didn't scan 2 rooms together. I can, just so you know, you can scan your whole house. But remember what I said. This is, again, these are steps you're going to learn. Tomorrow, if you're coming to the class, you're going to learn these because I'm going to make you scan multiple rooms and watch how the machine or the LiDAR slows down on recognition and understanding what it's doing. So I've just built it into myself. I scan one room at a time, name it. One room at a time, name it. One room at a time, name it. Then if I'm merging my closets into those rooms, I do all of that in Xactimate. It's just very simple to do it that way. I don't even have to label those or write an estimate for those rooms because I'm going to merge it. I just write an estimate for everything. And I'm usually copy and pasting because the closets are usually the same as the bedroom, but maybe not in some cases. New Jersey has wood floors sometimes in the closet where there might be carpet. But once I've got the scan, I can merge the scan areas to sketch, and then I get the sketch right here. Okay. And that's just a very simple process. I can also go in and add floors. If I need to add a floor, I can go in and add a new building or a new floor. I'm not going to go ahead and do that, but that's how you would do that. Add a floor. So up here, excuse me, up here, I can add a new building. Then I can cancel that, or right here under main dwelling, I can add another floor. If I go into a house, say I'm in Chesapeake, Virginia, there's a lot of crawl spaces there. I can add a crawl space. Then I can add my first floor and vice versa. And I can drag and change the floors the way I need to. So you have that availability. And the reason is when you merge to Xactimate or export to Xactimate, export allows you the ability to do one sketch. So we had to kind of manipulate our system to balance out with their system. So it creates one sketch with multiple floors, and then instead of multiple sketches. Okay, so we just had to balance out that system a little different than the way they have their functionality, but it's the same process. But is there any questions about the LiDAR scan? I will be showing this live here at my house in tonight's training, but I wanted to just do a walkthrough of all the windows first. Okay, so I'll slide my screen to the right. And again, now I've got my line items. Something here, if I click on the arrow, drop down, something that we're adding is we're going to add a notes section up here in the main room is most likely where my son's going to put it. So you can add specific notes for that room that might be special, or it might have an accent wall that you want to highlight, like a faux wall. Maybe you can't find that line item or whatever, but we'll have that ability to add notes. Also, if you want to change anything, let's just go right here to 1x6 subfloor. I don't want that line item in there. I don't need it. So I'm going to just slide it to the right and I can delete it. Yes. Or I can go up here to the 3 dots and click on the 3 dots, and I can select multiple, and I can go, this one I don't want, this one I don't want, this one I don't want, and keep going down through there. Let's just go down to the very bottom, and I can select all the window stuff. So I'm just hitting all those. Then I come over here and delete. Yes, it's asking me to delete. And now I've just deleted that. It's confirmed it. That green bar said it deleted those 7 line items. So that's how. So now I've gone into the entryway. If I have this estimate all straight right here, I'm going to go into this, and I'm going to go into my exterior, and I'm going to say add line items, copy, and I'm just going to say, oh, from the entryway, copy selected group. And nope, I don't need to do that. Boom, and it's done. So now I've got my exterior, I've got those line items already written there. That's pretty fast for writing a complete estimate right there. Now, when you get into Xactimate, all you have to do is just fine tune it right there. It's not a big deal to fine tune it in Xactimate. And that's just you reviewing it, making sure that everything is the way your particular IA firm that you're working for wants it to be there. And as you go through, you can go through the different rooms and you can do the same thing. This works really well. My house is all tile floor, so I get all of the line items for the tile floor, and I just duplicate everything except for the bathroom and kitchen, obviously, and then I add those. Okay, so I'm going to go in and talk about the groups a little bit. So that's just manipulating the line items right there. I can add another group here. You really have to learn and understand the groups and the way the claim was written and the way the rooms and the line items and the groups were all written, so you can not only customize your own group, but create the way you write flood claims too, by shifting order, whatever, because I know some people like to put baseboards after all of their drywall and stuff. So I'm just going to go into this office closet right here. Notice there's no line items. I can go in there and again, add the line items. Also notice right here, I've got the sketch and I've got the photos. So if I click on the photo, it takes me right to the photo area, okay? So I can manipulate that photo. Again, we have that ability in the line items to go back to the photos with a click once, and now you're in the photo section instead of having to slide all the way back here, find where you're going. You can just do it all right here to where it's at your fingertips and you can do it. The same thing with this in your scan. If you're there, you can do everything in this area too, just by going in the actual office and there's your photos, whatever you might be doing. So you have that ability to work in, I was in the office closet, you have that ability to do it right there. And then you can do the copy line items like I showed you in the exterior, which I wouldn't have done normally, okay? But go up to the arrow. Sorry, I meant to go up to the arrow. Here, show you. Click up to the arrow, that's your back. Get into this window, and then you can slide through the different screens, okay? These are called your inspection tool screens because it's got your photos, your scan, and your line items. Everything is done right there. Okay, so we've talked about the line items, we've talked about the scan, and we've talked about the photos. When you download OSA for your very first time and what you're looking at, and you've uploaded the tools for managing line items, you go over here to your OSA icon and click on that, and then you can click on manage line items. It's going to ask you, one, to download the line items. Download them. Then they're going to be in your system. Then you're going to have that ability right here. Now, in this, you're going to be able to see all the different groups that I've got. So right here, I've got bathroom, I've got doors, I've got electrical. So I've got in doors, I've got 12 different groups indoors. So I got cased openings, closet, closet bypass, complete, exterior French doors, interior doors, sliding doors, different things like that. If I go into electrical, notice I've got 4 groups: appliances, mechanical, wall electrical, wall mechanical. So I have different fields that I can play with. The one I like the most, and this is the way I've set it up for you guys, is the complete kits. There's 3 rooms. It's just my philosophy and my training that there's 3 rooms in every house. There's all other rooms, a kitchen, and a bathroom. You can complete your estimate with those 3 rooms and those 3 ability of those 3 rooms to be able to write your estimate. So all other rooms, if you look here, notice it has 67 line items. Attached garage has 30. The basement has 36. The bathroom complete has 68. Closet doors 12, 14, and so forth. So if I click on one, I'm just going to go into crawl space complete. At the top box are all my line items right there where I'm scrolling up here, okay? At the top box where I'm scrolling. I can delete those line items out of there, or I can add those line items, whatever I need to do. If I want to add a line item, I can go down here below. Notice I have all my line items here, and there's a whole bunch of them. All those line items have been added manually by us to the system, so you have the ability to use those and make your own custom groups. So I'm in the closet. If I want to go in here and I wanted to, or I'm in the crawl space, I wanted to go in here and add a range drop, all I do is go in here and I hit the plus sign and it will go added to this group. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to mess up my group, but that's how you would do that particular thing. So there is all the groups for you. Now you can go in there again, like I said, you can custom set these groups and build them yourselves like I have right here. I've got a main group that I custom built, actually did it in class, deeper learning. So I can go in here and suppose I wanted to add that range. I just come over there and click, there's the range. I can come over here and add that line item. I can close it, or I can look at information. Here's the details of that room. It's a category, ACT, selection, ABM, unit type, square foot. It gives you the available actions right there in the calculation as ceiling. So it's giving you that. You can change all that and manipulate it, all that, but you have to download it first and put it where it needs to before you can change all that information. But I want to add that. So I just go over here and click it, and it adds it to the group. Okay. So everything is there, what you need to do and how you do it. And what it's going to do is it's going to alphabetize it, just so you know the way it is. And that's just the way it is. But when you put it into your estimate, it will show up the way you've written it in your scoping area. Okay. So all that will be right there for you. Okay, so you have all the details here. Again, like I said, I like the complete groups. There's the bathroom complete. It comes with everything that you need. And then you can just delete what's not applicable in the fine lines. Okay, so that is your line items. And that's probably one of the most important windows, is just being in here and understanding this as a foundation. When I first showed this to my beta testers, they were all over the board, just so everybody knew. I was even all over the board. I had to get my the developer, my son, to come in there and explain the process. Although I did all the inputting of the information, he just lined it out a little bit differently than the way I thought. So he just had to show me, just like the photos the other day that I gave you Tuesday. I thought it was an error or a problem or a mishap, and it wasn't. He just changed it because of the way the coding was. So you have that capability to do everything in this. So when you're all done, and we're going to show this example here in the class, when you're all done, you just export to ESX, and it comes out the way you've written your claim. All right, so let's go in and start that. So everybody remembers this claim the other day. I went in there and downloaded Zach Christie. Okay, so this was just a claim that I did in the administration side of it. I got into my website, filled out all the details for the claim data right here. So here's my claim data. I made sure that there were no blank fields. Notice I've got my logos in there. I've got the address. I've got everything, the coverages. I've even filled out the risk rating 2.0. So I've got everything that the IA firm sent me in a loss notice, or in, if they're partnering with us, a JSON document. Okay. So I've got all that information in there. It's all ready to go. I make sure there's no blanks, and now I've got the claim data. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my first building. Oh, here, let me go through. I've got my dashboard. There's my dashboard, so I can balance it. I've made contact with Zach, so I've contacted him. I set the inspection, so I scheduled it. I'm just going to put in today's date. So today's date, my inspection is 6 p.m. Okay, so there's my inspection. I'm going to send to my calendar. So I've got everything done. I've already updated a status to the office, so everybody knows. And now I'm set on my inspection. Okay, so what I want to show you with that is when I go to the mapping, here's my mapping. Here's the claim that I'm doing right there, what I just did, Zach. And there is his information, and I can go over to the calendar and am I in the right month? No, I'm not. Or am I? Oh, I am. Sorry. I'm just not. Oh, you know what? I didn't send him to the calendar. Hold on. Edit appointment, send to calendar. Should have that in the calendar now. Yeah, he's showing up, just he's not showing up as a full date. Okay, I'll have to figure out. Oh, it's because the data loss is what I've got it at. The August 20th is the data loss. There he is right there. So it's under, and I had him under August. There's the data loss. There's Zach. I just had to figure out what I did. Sorry. Going faster than I was thinking. So I've got everything. Now I'm going to go to the inspection. What's it asking me to do? I'm reading my screen. This is how you manipulate through. Add my first building. This is main building. I'm just typing it in. I bring my cursor down here and I just type it in, main building. Okay, I would have actually, if I didn't have a keyboard attached to my iPad, which I'm going to lose here in a second, I would just use my keyboard on my screen. So I'm going to create. Notice in scoping, it creates the floor automatically, first floor. Notice it says add rooms. I haven't added any rooms yet, so I haven't done any of that information. So now I'm there, and notice in the photos, it's giving me my property verification, my exterior water line, and my interior stuff. Okay, and it says add rooms. I haven't added any rooms because I haven't scanned. So now it's adding me to select a floor. I go over here to the left and I'm going to select a floor. So now I've got my first floor. Okay, I'm pulling away from my keyboard now because I'm going to go mobile. Okay, so I'm there. So now I'm in my scan and I'm going to go in there. I turn it vertically. That's just the way I like to scan things. And notice I'm going down to the bottom where it says start AR experience. I click on that. Notice it says OSA room scan. I can scan room below, but up at the very top of the window up there, it has a pulsating select location. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to name this location as primary bedroom. So here's my primary bedroom. And I've picked my primary bedroom. I hit the checkbox, everything, I create it, and now I'm set. So I've got my primary bedroom and I go ahead and scan room. So now it's scanning the room. And again, I just came in the door. So I'm going to the left. Notice it says point camera at the top edge. And now it's starting to scan. See all the lines showing up? That's because it's scanning. Down in the lower right-hand corner, I can take my overview shots. So there's one picture, click. So I'm going to go over and notice the thumbnail shows up of the picture I just took in my left. So there's my other picture corner. So I'm going to do that. Notice it's gone to the windows and the doors. Okay, I'm going to continue scanning. I'm going up and down and I'm going to scan. It's drawn the windows, take a picture. I've got that all done. Now it's going to scan through the doors, take a picture, and I'm done scanning that room. So just verify, make sure I connected all the dots. Got it, done scanning. It's going to show me a 3D picture of the room. Yes, that looks like I want. So I'm going to save it down in the bottom corner, save. Okay, then I'm going to go up and hit the damage location again. And I'm going to type in a new area and I'm going to say primary bed bathroom, primary BTHRM bathroom. Hit save or hit that, create. And now I hit ready down at the bottom. And now I'm scanning the bathroom. So I'm going to take that first shot in. Okay, then I'm just going to come over and draw the area right there through. Take another shot, looking towards the bedroom. Take another shot, then come through and do the walls, do the doors, and take another shot. Then notice I've got a little glitch over here on the left. That's because I've got a built-in shower. I've got to come over and do the shower picture. Notice it's drawn everything. I'm done scanning. Hit save. And I'm going to name this the primary new area, primary toilet. Primary toilet. Okay, this room's dark. Hit ready. I'm going to go to the lower left, turn on my camera or my flashlight on my thing, and now I'm going to scan and take pictures of this room too. Okay, take a picture. Notice I've scanned the ceiling, take a picture, looking back out the door. Okay, take a picture, but I haven't connected the walls up there yet. I've got to get those points connected. And then I'm just going to step out a little bit. See, it says move further away. That's because I was too close to take a picture. So it told me what to do, and I'm done scanning. There it is. I'm going to save. Go to the next room, primary closet. Click on that, hit create, ready. And again, I'm scanning. I get the room, get down, taking a picture. Going to scan up there. Notice it's looking cabinet. So line is through my cabinet. I'm going to get the wall, get the door area, get the walls, and get back and make sure I'm connecting the pictures. Okay. So I can go in here and finish taking my pictures. Okay. I'm at that end. Okay. It's saying slow down because I was moving my camera too fast. It wasn't pixelating through the LiDAR. It couldn't find itself. So it tells me to slow down. Okay. I'm done scanning that closet area. I'm going to save. So I dead-ended myself. I guess that's where it ended. Yeah. Dead-ended myself in my closet. But now I need to go to the rest of my house. So all I'm doing is walking through my bedroom, back to the front door, and I'm going to name this primary entry. I'm just going to say bed entry. That's what I'll name it, bedroom entry. And I'm going to create a FUPA on this room just to show you how LiDAR will pick it up. So now I'm just scanning the area. So I'm going to create a mistake in this for you automatically. So again, I'm recognizing the door. Okay, just going back, recognizing the closet, taking a picture of everything, making sure all my points are connected, and I'm done scanning. Oh, I didn't take any pictures either. So just keep that in mind. And now I'm going to go, again, I'm going to skip a room and I'm going to go to the entry of my house now. So I'm going to go into a new area and I'm going to go into the entryway of my house and hit create and hit ready. So now I'm in a complete different area of my house. Notice I have my flashlight on now, and actually I carry a different light with me to help light up the room because when it's really dark, it is dark. And so it just helps light up. I bought that at Harbor Freight, just so everybody knows. It was basically, it does, I think 7,500 lumens, and it does a pretty good job of lighting everything up. Then I've got the office, my wife working, and I'm done scanning. So I can click done scanning, save, and there I am. And I'm going to go into the adjacent room to the office. And I'm not going to do my whole house, but I'm just going to do this last room right here. Ready. And again, it's picking up. As soon as I walk in, it picked up the window. It picked up the doors. Okay. It's picking up the corners. Okay. For my wife's head. It's picking up the walls, pick up the entryway. It drew the connection with everything. Done scanning. Okay. Save. Now I'm all done. I'm done with my house. Okay, I've been teaching a class scanning, so I scanned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rooms in the time I was teaching the class, and now I'm going to go through there. So 7 rooms, excuse me. So I've got 7 rooms scanned down there in the bottom picture of the class, and now what I'm going to do is merge the scanned areas. Now remember, I went from my bedroom to my bathroom to my closet, dead end. I came back through all those rooms and went to my front door entryway. Then there was also another door in my entryway to my bedroom. Then I went to the entryway of my house with an open area and then to my office. So watch how I merge scan, confirm the merge. There's a 3D picture of what I'm doing, okay? So I want to take a screenshot of this. So I just save all my 3D drawings. So I just take a simple screenshot of that. It shows up at the bottom and I name it later, or it doesn't actually name in my photos. And then I save it, okay? So now it's saving the floor plan to me. So there's my floor plan, okay? So I've got all my floor plan done with my house, okay? Everything's done. What about that little room right there? Okay, notice that room. It didn't connect the walls, so it's not perfect. I can go in and connect that one wall right there. That's not a problem. Just highlight the wall and just move. Oops, moved it too far. Excuse me. There, just move it back. Just select that wall. And actually, that's almost perfect with the way everything's guidelined. But notice on the room 2 to my office, it named my office, but it didn't name my room 2. I've got too many doors. I do have a double door, but it recognized my barn doors as additional doors instead of just the opening. So all I do is go in there, hit the select at the top of the key, go down there and select the door and just delete it. Then I can go hit select again, select the door and just move it. And then if I need to change that door, I can go in and change that door, but I'm just going to leave it the way it is. But notice as I was going through there, I named all those rooms. Like room 3 was the toilet. Room scan in the Apple program doesn't have that ability to hold that name. So what we had to do in the background is we had to do a digital drawing as you're going through there in room scan and going through there and backdooring it to try to get it to recognize. Well, it recognized the office, it recognized the primary bathroom, and it recognized the primary bedroom, but it didn't recognize the toilet or the closet or the entryway. That's not a problem. All I do is just go into room 3, click on the room, go up to the upper right-hand corner, click on the details, and now I know that that was my primary toilet. I click on it, notice all my photos went in there and everything. So this one, room 1, closet, okay? I go in there, find my primary closet, click on it, and there's all my photos for the primary closet, okay? Entryway, I didn't take any photos, but we'll go in there and do the entryway. Oh, that's the wrong entryway. Oh, I made a mistake. I named that the entryway in my house. That's not a problem. I just go click on room 1 and I rename it and hit entryway, and it will say move or to here. Move area. Oh, I'm spelling there. I'll have to get my son to fix that. Move area to here, and I'll just hit move. And notice the entryway moved and the photos moved, and then it just became room 1. Okay. So the manipulation is there. It's very simple for what you're doing and how you're doing it. You just have to learn to understand the way it works, to understand how to toggle through everything. And how do you do that? By practicing. Okay. And you come to those meetings like I'm having tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday of live training to, if you run into a problem, where I can help you with that. Okay. And if I didn't tell you this yesterday or today earlier, there will be snacks and drinks there and a pool. But so all that's done. Now watch this. If I go in there and hit the back arrow up there, I can go over to my photos and hit all my photos. Okay. So now I'm going to go in here and there's not going to show up any damage. So I can go into the primary bathroom, and actually let's close that. So the first thing I would like to do is bring in my entryway to my house. That would be where I actually would have started, but I didn't. So I'll just do it the way I scoped. So I went to my primary bedroom, then I went to my primary bathroom, then I went to the primary toilet, okay? And then I went to the primary closet, then I went to my bedroom entry, the entryway, in the office. So I just put my order of the way I inspected that house in order so I could get in there and do what I needed to do. Sorry, I was thinking that I was looking at, you guys were looking at me or I was looking at you. But so now I have everything in the way I did that house. I'm hooked back to my keyboard now. That's why you see the yellow cursor up there. So I've got all of the rooms right there. So now what do I go back into? This is my first inspection. Or not my first inspection. I've just walked through with the policy holder. Ma'am, does this look like your house? Yes, it does. Okay. so I can fix it. Now I want to show you one thing. So again, it's a computer, or it's a LiDAR, it's a camera. It doesn't recognize everything the way we do. It's pixelating everything and how it's done. So I want to show you something. See my bathroom, or my bedroom and my bathroom? That's one wall, okay? I tried to make this error happen to you just like I did with room 2 in here. So if I click on that and I drag it down, and then I click on this other wall, drag it down, now that's the way my house looked, okay? Everything else is perfect, okay? So there was just that one little glitch, and I tried to create that for you in there. But will it happen to you? Yes, it will. It will happen. It's guaranteed to happen. Why? Because it's a camera. It's a LiDAR looking. It's an X-ray or whatever, a laser looking at all the way you're doing it. So your walls may be off a little bit. That's why in this mode right here, I fix everything before I upload it to Xactimate. I fix everything in here to make sure it looks just like the policyholder said, just like the house I went and inspected before I upload it. So I don't have to redo anything when I get back to my hotel room or my office or wherever it is. So I've got everything done. Okay, so I'm just gonna hit my back arrow again up in the corner, and I'm gonna arrow over to my photos. Now I can go in here and label my photos too if I wanted to. If I did the auto label, I'll show you the auto label. So I'm gonna go in here and just do it's gonna come up with no damage most likely on anything. So I'm gonna go in and I'm just gonna hit auto label, and it's gonna look describing 28 photos. So it's gonna come up there and say no damage. It might come up with a photo that has damage, and that's just because that's a water stain or something from previous damage, but it's going to basically show no damage. Okay, discoloration in the floor. Okay, so it labeled one photo so far because again, it's a camera. It's reading the damage. There is no damage that it can see, so it's going through there. Signs of moisture. Okay, that's true. There is signs of moisture on the floorboard in that room. Why? That's my fault. I spilled something there. But see how it's labeling everything? It's just showing that there's minimal damage. It's labeled 21, 22 photos, 23 photos, 25. Now, if you have actual flood damage, I can actually, let me see, I'll try something really quick for you guys. Okay, I can approve changes, yes. So let me go in here, and I'm gonna go into this primary toilet area. I'm gonna click on the photos. I'm gonna choose some photos from my gallery. Actually, no, that's wrong. Go in here, choose from my iCloud, click on my iCloud. So now I'm gonna go into hold on. No, wrong. I was right in my gallery. Go to my gallery, hit confirm. I'm trying to find my photos in my house. Okay, so these are some of my insureds. I'm going to go into Anthony Rains, and I'm just going to pick 4 damaged photos right here or whatever. Okay, and then we'll see if there's any cabinetry damage on one of these. So I'm just going to add those photos. Oh, I only selected one. Sorry, got to go back. Add those photos. I think they're still there. I might have deleted them and forgot to delete their shell. Just bear with it. It's pulling from the gallery all the photos that I checked. I thought I only checked 4. Maybe my finger slid. Oh, perfect. So I want to show you something. I'm caught in a loop. I'm going to end the loop just so you guys understand. I don't know why it's not coming through. It could be my internet or something. but I want to show you this, and this is actually good that this happened. So I'm caught in a loop. Okay, see how it's breaking up like that? It's not focusing, it's not filtering through. I'm going to let it go for a little bit longer and see if we can get through it. We'll come back to it and see if it works. But in any case, if this happens for some reason, it's not a big deal. Go to the bottom of your screen and just drag it up and just shut it down. Okay. All I did was I'm just shutting everything else down. And then I just shut the program down and I reopen the program. Oh, you can't see it. I think I shut my camera down. Hold on. I got out of the call. Bear with me. Sorry, I didn't mean to end the call too. Start broadcast. Okay. All I did was I'm going to go back into Zach, and now I can go into the primary toilet. The photos right there are labeled. So I'm going to go back in and auto label and see if it picks up the new photos that I just did. Notice it has 1 to 3, a tape measure measuring 26 inches, water line, blah, 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 visible at the 26-inch mark. Okay. So it just picked up that damage from the cabinetry, no damage from that, but it picked up the water line and different things. So it does work. What it did was it just cycled through a loop. Again, it's an easy fix. You just back out and back into it. Okay. So it's not really a problem. All right. So now that we've got the photos, now that we've got the scan, now that we've got the line items, we'll go in here and add some line items really quick. I'm just going to go complete kits, all other rooms, add to groups. Okay. So I'm going to go in here and delete a couple, everything that we've already talked about. I'm just going to delete those 4 line items. Delete. Okay. So now I'm going to add more line items to other rooms. Add line items, copy. Okay. I'm going to finish the estimate really quick. Add line items, copy. I'm going to use that. Actually, I should have done that different. I'm going to go in and delete group. Yes. And I'm going to go in and add the bathroom to this. Bathroom complete. Hit connect. Okay, good. Minimize that. Toilet. I'm going to go into toilet, delete the group, add the bathroom. So I added something too fast. So I'm just adding the group right there. Okay, primary closet. That's in all other rooms. I can copy, go to the primary bedroom. So I fixed something in the process of what I was doing. Bedroom entry, complete. I can add that. So I'm just trying to do it and show you can do different ways of adding the rooms. Not a big deal. Then the entryway. I'm going to go in there and copy that. So I'm going to copy that from the primary bedroom. Okay, so I've got all those line items added. Then the office. Again, I'll just add the line items and copy that from, let's just say, the primary bedroom again. Okay, so now I've got all the line items done. Everything in the estimate is done. Okay, so I've written the whole entire estimate right there. Now, I would have taken a little bit more time to write it. I would have gone through and balanced it out and made sure all the line items. And I also would have taken those damaged photo pictures. But I don't want you guys to just sit here and watch me take pictures. That's kind of boring. But I wanted you to see that I've got all the line items. Now, what do I need to do with the claim? I'm done. I've done my inspection. I'm back in my hotel room. I've got everything done. I've got my line items in all my rooms. Okay, I can verify all that. Excuse me, let me collapse all these just so you can see. It shows that I've done line items in all my rooms. Oh, wait, I didn't do the exterior. I can go into the exterior, add line items, and I'm just going to go complete kit, and I'll just pick on, say, vinyl siding. So I've added all the line items for vinyl siding right there. I can delete what's not applicable. Maybe all that needs to be changed. Maybe it doesn't. Okay. So now I've added all my line items. I've got my sketch. There's the sketch I've done. and I've got my photos. Okay, and notice all my photos are completed because I labeled all my rooms. Okay, so I've got everything done. So I'm done. I'm back in my hotel room. I've finished everything on site. Now I need to upload to Xactimate. So I go over here to the OSA ID, click on it, and export to Xactimate. It's going to think, so it's going to show me the project details. The very first thing you need to do is click on the down arrow. Check that. Now, if you had an error or something was missing from the claims data, it would show right here. Okay. If Xactimate's all running smooth up there and there's no problems with what's going on in Xactimate, I go over here and create project. Okay. The only time you usually get an error is if you've done an email incorrectly or something like that, or if Xactimate's not working. Okay, so project was created successfully. I'm done with that. Click next. There it says I'm uploading my sketch. There's my first floor sketch. Click on that, upload sketch. Okay, notice green, sketch 1 successfully uploaded. Now all I got to do is complete the project. So what it's doing right now is it's building your whole entire ESX. It's adding everything from your claim data and building your ESX file. Now it's done. I've already created an ESX. I haven't touched Xactimate. I didn't touch Xactimate on Monday, did I? Or Tuesday, did I? Nope, I didn't touch it there. I haven't touched it in this class. But now watch. So now I download and share. It's pulling all the data. It's creating the ESX. There it is. So I'm going to go over here to my drive. I'm going to click on my drive. There it is, Zach Christie ESX. I'm going to click on where I'm saving that into the test file right there. And I'm going to have save as, upload. And it's done. I've already uploaded that claim. I've got that file, so it's gone off my OSA. I've got my photos, I've got my line items, and I've got my sketch all done. Now, photos would be a little bit different because I would have to download the forms still right here. Let me show you that. General photo sheet. Click on the photo sheet. There's all my photos. Primary toilet building first floor, primary toilet building first floor, no damage, and blah, blah, blah. Those are the only ones I have selected for this group. So I just did more, but I would have this. So this photo sheet is good to go to turn into your IA firm. It's just like the Xactimate one, just a little bit differently formatted. All I do is upload this into that. So I can go into, so my ESX is gone. I've already submitted that. Now I want to submit all my reports. So I'm just going to drag this up. Here's my preliminary report. We're going to say it's done. Okay. I'm going to go actually in here to my photos really quick. And I'm going to make a selection. And I'm going to select this one. I'm going to click this one, select that one. Like this one, select this one. All I'm doing is I didn't mark all these preliminary. So I'm just hitting selection, and now I'm going to go up to the upper right-hand corner here and click edit. So click on edit, and now it gives me edit photo details. So I can do a description, or I can select association to add. So I'm going to add all of these photos to my preliminary report right there. Click on the side and apply. So every single photo there that I just selected is going to go to my preliminary report. So now I go back to my forms. I'm going to slide this up because I've already completed my preliminary report. I'm going to hit select. Notice an eyeball comes up. Notice you see a little sheet saying photo sheet. Click on the photo sheet. It says preliminary report photos. Click on that. And now I want to view this. Hold on, let me shut my door. So I want to view this report. So I'll click on the eyeball up here, right there. I'll click on the eyeball. And now it's going to ask me, do I want my FCN card? Yes. Click on the FCN card. So now I've got my adjuster preliminary report done. I've got my FCN card added, and I've got all my preliminary photos that I've added. Okay, so everything there that I wanted is all done. Okay, so now I can hit that, I can close it, go to the upper corner, and now I can submit that, go to the right side. I'm going to drag my other photo up there, or my photo sheet. Oh, I got to hit done, excuse me. Drag my photo sheet up there, hit select. Now I want to check that box. I'm going to download my preliminary report. Yes, I want my FCN card. And now I'm going to go back to my drive, and notice it says Zach Christie, adjuster preliminary report. We've labeled it with the policyholder's name and the preliminary report. So you can actually upload this straight to an examiner if you needed to, and they'll know what they're looking at, or you're uploading this to a CMS. Depending on how your IA firm is working, if you're partnering with them or not, you can upload it a couple different ways, or you can do one other thing. You can just send it to email. So if I wanted to say I was working for BAC, because I know there's a bunch of adjusters on here from BAC. If I was uploading this to BAC and I wanted to send all of these documents because I didn't have access to their CMS, if I wanted to send all these, I could combine them all in a zip file and send all of them to Mike Barrios, and they would all come in there, and it would say Zach Christie zip drive. And then when he opened that zip drive, it would show the preliminary report, the engineering report, the photo sheet, everything right there. Everything would be labeled for him. So he would be able to identify that as needed. But we're working a partnership with him, so hopefully we'll be able to upload everything with them directly. So I'm going to go to the test file where I've saved everything else for him and just hit save and upload. So now it's uploading. I did this at my house, or I did this out in the field. Preferably, I'd like to say online, just because the internet was down, say in that city. So I was doing all this at my hotel. Okay. So now I'm going to turn off my iPad. You have the idea of uploading your forms. It's that simple. One thing I did want to show you about the photo sheet is the photo sheet does have the label of the logo, excuse me, of the IA firm and the name of the IA firm. Just so you know, OSA is not an adjusting firm. It's simply a software application. Okay, it's an adjuster tool. Just so you know, we don't have an adjusting firm. Everybody confused me, and I got a million questions from that. So now I'm in Xactimate, and notice I have no Zach Christie here at all. Okay, so I've got to open that file. Let me find it. I'll show you guys where it is. So here's the folder where I was saving everything. Notice it says Zach Christie ESX file. So that's right there. And all I got to do is just take that and drag it right over there. Close that. And notice it said import successful. Close this. And there it is. Notice, I want you to see something. It's an estimate. Okay. It's not in FEMA flood yet. Okay. Simple. Not a problem. Go over here, click on it, go over here to duplicate, go up here to select and make it a FEMA flood claim. Now it's going to take on all the characteristics of your normal FEMA flood claim. Then you can go back into this original one and you can put it in the trash bin. Okay, it's not necessary. So you have the FEMA flood claim. So let's go ahead and click on this. Going to open up. The first thing it's going to ask me for is the price list. Remember what I said, managing line items brings over the line items. It doesn't bring over the pricing. Okay, so I'm going to go in, and this one's in the Mobile area. So I'm just going to bring over in August 25th. Okay, so I'm going to bring in the tax 9.5. Okay, so I've got the pricing now. Data. So here's the parameters. Notice I've got the price list. Okay. Notice I've got the insured information. Over here, you see your violations. Okay. Now I want to tell you, with Xactimate, Xactimate is written for a contractor. Xactimate is written for mitigation restoration companies. None of those two companies or none of those two entities, a contractor or a restoration, requires dates. Only the insurance companies require dates. So therefore, Xactimate doesn't have the ability through the way we're uploading the claim to put in those dates. So this right here is the only thing that you have to do. You can go right here to policy number, and you can't see you can see the screen. I can go in and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, type that in, done. Data loss, notice it disappeared. Data loss, I can go in and put the data loss, okay? So data loss is whatever I put on my prelim, okay, so there's the data loss. So you have to fill out those dates. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about that. Hopefully with your input and your usage, they'll see that I'm worth it, basically, is what it comes down to. It's return on investment to go in there and change their system so my system can give them the information. So you go in there and do that. All right, so you fix all those. The next thing is, the biggest thing is going here to your sketch. So some of you have worked with Eagle View before, some of you have not. So I'm just going to center that. So if I go here, notice I've got my sketch and all my line items, all my rooms and all that stuff. But if I go to my estimate, notice there's no line items, okay? Not a big deal. You just haven't called them in yet, okay? So I got to go back to my sketch and notice down here, the source right here at the bottom, it says sketch 1 source third party, okay? Go back to my line items, it says source third party, okay? I just got to go to this icon in the upper corner right here where my pointer is circling and just click on that, okay? And then it's going to import selection, one-stop adjuster, import, okay? So it's done. Now, when I go back to, oh, it's still importing. When I go back to my line items, notice there's all my line items, okay? There's the source third party, then there's source one-stop adjuster. All my line items are here. My estimate is written in its full entirety, okay? So I'm just gonna go back to sketch and clean up a little bit. So I'm gonna get rid of sketch 1, click on that, yes. I'm gonna get rid of sketch third party, click that and get rid of that. And again, this is just me. I like to clean it up. I like to make sure it's all clean. So now when I go here, there's my estimate. So if you're coming to training, you're going to get some extra details over there at the training side about all this stuff at the house. If you're not, this is basically, you're just going to have to play with it on this, and feel free to reach out to myself or Pam to ask any questions about this. But that's the only thing I can say. But at the training house tomorrow, or whenever you're coming, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, if you are bringing your laptop and you have Xactimate on it, you will be able to do this firsthand. You probably have to hotspot or hotspot to me, but that's it. Is there any questions about everything I walked through with what I've done? Really? You guys are all aces. Come on, I know there's someone has a question. So there it is. So now, basically, with what I've done in there, and I can go down to my documents. I'm in the wrong screen. I can go down to my documents, my report management. I can do everything the same exact way. There's my flood report. I can go in just like closing a claim normally in Xactimate. The only thing is OSA built it, brought everything in there, so you're done. So the way I've told you in the past, and briefly, I've written 4 claims, done 4 or inspect 4 claims, write 4 claims. When I write it, it comes in this manner, right here. So my claims, I review this, make sure everything's done. Notice there are some things that say 0 because it didn't recognize them. I should have deleted them. I can go in here and delete those line items now if I need to, just reviewing those things because I forgot to do it there. If I can go in and delete them, they're gone. So now everything's good. I've just checked everything. All I do is write the narrative and turn the claim in. Everything's done. I've already submitted my prelim, my engineer report, all those through the forms or through whatever the company has given me to send them to. And then I just write the narrative and turn in my claim. This is why I do everything at the house. Sure, it might take me 10 minutes, 15 minutes longer, just because I've been practicing and I'm proficient at it, but I don't have to do anything back when I get to the hotel room except for write a narrative and review my claim. And that's what I want to do for you guys. That's why I built this adjuster tool so you guys could go out there and be effective. Each one of you is going to come up with your own process. One of you might not want to use the tool, the line items. You might have it your own way using whatever you want to call macros. Okay. But remember, in a macro, you got to change the price. In a macro, you got to do all that for the area. This is coming in force fed from OSA. So it's already got that once you select the pricing. So it already adds that. So the time efficiency, let's see if there's anybody on here. There's a couple people. Yeah, John Altier. Go ahead and ask a question. Yes, John. You have to unmute. Unmute, John, and you can talk. I can't unmute you. Yeah, the items in the main level. That's a good question. Where did they go? That's because I put them in the exterior. They're all electrical and stuff like that. I've just got to go in there and remove them. That's all.
On your on your groupings and like in those rooms, can you put descriptions like mitigation, floor, walls to be able to kind of separate the estimate a little bit?
No, unfortunately, Xactimate does not have that authorization in their sketch TPI to be able to bring over a group like that. So what I do is I just create all the groups as attachments and just drag them where they need to be. That's the only thing I have to do, Keith.
Gotcha. No worries.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's
John, I'm back.
limitations of what Xactimate has given us. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I wasn't able to see your OAS line items. Do you have line items for like a 2-foot flood cut, 4-foot flood cut in there? How are you manipulating those variables? Do you wait until you get into Xactimate to do that?
No, you can actually click. That's a great question, John. You can actually click on the line item and set the variable right there in the line item. You can actually select the activity, whether you want to remove it, replace it, and you can put in that PF times 2, PF times 4 calculation, and it will roll over to Xactimate the same exact way.
Okay, that was my second question is OA, one-stop adjuster using the Xactimate variables like exterior walls. So if I needed to do insulation, I can just do EW to EW and it will do that for me.
No, and you will have to you'll have to manipulate that in the actual Xactimate itself, and that's because you can't do the exterior in the sketch because the way Xactimate has that, so you can't do that in a third-party software. So here in Xactimate that you're looking at right now, I would have to go into my main level right here and add my exterior level, and then I can copy all those rooms or add all the line items out of my main level and put it in that exterior level. That's the only thing we're able to negotiate with Xactimate and be able to do, because they don't allow the exterior sketch to be pulled in because it's a different sketch.
What if I marked on your sketch, the one-stop adjuster sketch, I marked the exterior walls within Xactimate and I made them exterior walls? Would that work then, that variable?
Well, right here, so I'm in the exterior, so I can, on Xactimate right now, I can draw my exterior walls.
Yeah.
So all I got to do is just drag all my line items over, and it's going to recognize all the coding for those exterior walls.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so all I got to do is just do this, what I'm doing right now. There it is, and then I've got the exterior built. So now I can go into my estimate items. There's my exterior, all those line items plus more in there because I double copied something. I can just come over here and just say copy, cut, and go in and paste them right there.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
it's gonna take everything that it needs to and recognize the exterior surfaces at that
Okay.
point. Drag it up where it needs to.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Yep. Is there any other questions? Yes, Ted. You got to unmute. Go down to the bottom of your screen and click on the microphone and unmute. Oh, I think I lost him. There was a couple questions. How do you break out condominiums and units and apartments from Jeff Queen? All you do is create another building in there, and it will allow you to create another building, and it will allow another drawing for you to do that. That is the way you can do that. Then Robert Brooks had a question on the battery iPad. I have a backpack. It works great for 4 to 6 claims, but depending on how your speed is and stuff like that. But I plug mine in before each. So when I'm going from one claim to the next one, I plug it in. But I also have a battery backpack that I put in my pocket of my fishing vest that I use. And that's how I do that. And it works great. Yes, policyholders' photos can be brought into the system as long as you have them saved in a folder where you can drag them from in a gallery or a third party, as you saw. Let's see. Yeah, Michelle Brown is answering some of your questions in case I missed some. Stephen, if yours isn't showing everything, give me a call, but I think you've done that because you upgraded. There has to be a claim in there in order to see everything with the managed line items in the thing. So that's why yours might not be showing with the new system. And then I've got the emails to send the pocket guide to. Sorry, I'm just reading some of them. Yeah, I think that's all the questions in the chat room that I had, or in the chat room that I had. I don't think I missed anything. Is there any other live questions for you guys? H, Ted Ferris. You said H and hit enter. What do you have since you couldn't talk? All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and how do you delete old files? Click on the pencil in the upper left-hand corner, and you're going to get another window that has a trash can on the far right, and you can get all those off your screen. Okay. Mike Barrios, you had a question?
Yeah, what's the plan for Sunday?
From 9 to 3.
Oh, not 10 to 4, 9 to 3.
Or no, 10 to 4. Sorry, 10 to 4. Yeah.
Okay. I
Sorry.
don't have your address. You can just text me your address whenever and I'll get there around 10.
Yeah, that's fine. I will do that. I'll send you a text message.
Sounds good.
Yes, the training is posted. Basically, where I post all the training is on Facebook. It's undecided for next week yet because I might be doing some things, but I'll let you know. Most likely, I'll be training just to give you that. And depending on storms, depending on what's around, I may do another live training next weekend if there's nothing in the area. So please come. If you're in the local area, I would come to the training. If you're not in the local area, I'll just give you an example. There was 7 people that I knew of that are not on this call right now because they're all flying in from out of state, and one in particular individual is flying in from out of country because they're coming to the class. So that's all I can say. I'll figure that out because mine does all that. There was just an error saying on the prelim. I'll look at all that. But thanks. Oh, one thing I got for you guys is and they'll see it tomorrow more. In the OSA icon, there is a feedback. We had our feedback down for maintenance, and now it is back up. So our feedback is there, and those 2 individuals, while it was down, did get their feedback back to them, and they were able to fix those issues. So we're pretty responsive. We just had to do some minor changing on the feedback with what we are. But please go into the feedback. It allows you to put a description of what your problem is. It allows you to take pictures of what it is that you want to see, and then you can actually submit it. And it's important that you put your email in the feedback so we know how to respond to you. Okay, that's very important. Ted, did you have a question now? You're going to try to
Yeah,
speak?
yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that, man. I was having a problem with my other monitor; it wasn't allowing it. But anyway, so I tried to delete my old files on the OSA, and I've updated OSA, and it just keeps spinning for some reason. It will not delete.
Okay,
that.
so for you, because you were one of those very first beta testers, I would just go ahead and delete the whole app off of your iPad and load the new one, because we've done a numerous amount of renditions, and that's probably yours is back in the very beginning. So we all had to do that same exact thing. So just delete the whole thing. You're going to lose everything anyways. It doesn't matter. It doesn't work anyways. It won't work in the new one, and just re-upload the new app.
All right, sound good.
Yep. All right. Good to go. All right. Well, I'm going to stay on, and I have to just send some emails, but you guys are free to go unless you have any questions. Steve, go ahead and ask, and I'll stay on and answer the questions as I can. But please feel free to go. You don't have to stay on here and listen to me jibber jabber.